ice bath stories. I think that's what we'll call it. Let's see here. So, in the federal prison system, things are a little different. You know, dudes are running a little bit of a different program. Things aren't as structured as, you know, I've done a lot. I'm like a county baby. I have like 3 state terms in the LA County Jail. So, you know, you get a state term and do it in the county if it's a non-violent crime. So I had a couple of those, and I ended up doing more than a year sentence is the max time in the county jail. Anything more than a year, you're supposed to go upstate for it. But part of AB 109, which was like a reduction to keep to reduce overcrowding in the state prisons, they were doing it where you do your nonviolent offender, you do your time in the county jail. I think the craziest one I heard of was some Paisa dude. He got like 52 years with halftime. So you get halftime for his being nonviolent. So his Paisa was looking at doing like 26 years in the county jail, which is just insane. Now you can like petition that and go upstate if you have a lot of time. But there was a few other guys that had like 20 something years with halftime, and but they were indeterminate SHU. So what that means is, like, if they go upstate, if they petition and go upstate, they're just going to be in the SHU the whole time. So they'd rather do their time in the county jail, where they have a little more freedom, a little more privileges. And so you got guys doing a lot of time in the county jail. So I got a couple of state terms, 2 or 3 state terms in the county jail. So one of them I did in SuperMax in the 800s. I was in the EBI dorm, which is education-based incarceration. It's kind of like a school dorm, but in SuperMax in the 800s, that school dorm, you're not really doing too much. I think like once a week, if you're lucky, you'd have a teacher come by the unit, and she'd sit and do a couple of like CBT kind of things in the unit. That was about the extent of it. But that unit was all right, man. It was a pretty good jailer. It was a county worker. He'd come work the station at our unit. It was upstairs. It was like 8:30 something. So in SuperMax, you have you have like wings and corners, and each corner has like 3 or 4 dorms that are kind of in like it's like a 270. So it's set up in 270 degrees. And so from there, so we had to do that. It was pretty cool. He'd come up and work our little corner. He'd bring a little Bluetooth speaker and play some music. Now this was in like 14 maybe, 2013. And there was a lot of dudes right there. A lot of dudes in my unit. Like each unit, they'll have a lot of guys from like a certain gang. They'll get their homeboys pulled over there. In that unit, there was a bunch of dudes from Dirt Gang, which is a Harlem 30s Crip gang. Most of them were like the shot callers for their hood. There was about 4 guys that were on a case. I'm not going to say any names, but they were all fighting all day. They were fighting some murder charges, and I got along real well with everybody, man. There was some guys from a couple guys there from 60s, a couple guys from 100s underground. And so I got along with pretty much everybody, man. There was a lot of dudes there from Florencia. There was Southsiders. I had the unit there for a while, and I don't know, just run a pretty good program. Everything ran pretty smooth. And let's see, we're at 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes. So yeah, it's a little bit there. I'll touch on some stories about SuperMax. I'm gonna jump up out of this thing here in just a second. But LA County Jail used to be pretty active back then, man. Like if you were in downtown, they had that the 3,000 boys, which were like some sheriffs, some big juiced up white dudes that were just smashing dudes with their mag lights. That's when they had that indictment for the sheriff. Sheriff Tanaka got indicted. I think he got like 14 years, something like that. And a lot of other sheriffs got in trouble as well. But man, there's just there's so much stuff to even. I mean, it's insane. The unit where I was at, FCI Sheridan, a bunch of COs got caught bringing a bunch of steroids onto the facility. A lot of guys that were like 1 or 2 years away from retirement, guys that have been doing it for 20 some years, and just, so a lot of dudes walked away, but we're able to come back and we're going to be able to beat it. But man, there's just a lot of corruption within the system. I'm not promoting, I'm not glorifying or anything like that. I live a sober, clean life. I abide by the law. I support law enforcement these days. It wasn't like that in my past, but I don't want people to think I'm an advocate for people breaking the law or anything like that, because that's not my get down. I support law and order these days, and support all our first responders, all our military. As a matter of fact, one of my good friends is a Navy, top tier Navy guy. Starts with an S. I'm not going to drop the S bomb, but he's an officer as well. So I'm just living life differently these days, and God is really blessing me. I'm on a good path. A lot of things are really going good for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this posted. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, share, get this content out. Just sharing some stories, and eventually want to help getting some guys from going back to prison. Just teach them how to run a good structured program. Discipline, it's all about your choices, man, your daily habits. It's the small choices that add up at the end of the day. And looks like the sun's finally coming out in Southern California, baby. Ooh. Woo! Let's go, baby, let's go. Wow!